Hi, kindergarten. Today's video is all about recycling. Our first vocabulary word is aluminum. Aluminum is a type of metal used to make cans and foil and things like that. So soda cans are made out of aluminum, and that's a metal that can be recycled. Then we have furnace. Furnace is a large oven in which a great amount of heat is produced. So a furnace in a glass factory would be used to melt glass. So it's a super huge oven. Then we have solution. A solution is an answer to a problem. So like once you have the solution to the math problem, you write your answer on your paper. Our last word is sorted. Sorted means separated into different groups according to a certain characteristic. So like in this picture, you can see that these caps are sorted by color. Okay, that's one way you can sort things. So remember how we talked about natural resources? We learned that there are so many natural resources on Earth, including land, water, air, trees, coal, things like that. Okay? We also learned about things that we can do to reduce, reuse, or recycle any of those resources, right? Like maybe that means making sure your faucets are all the way shut and there's not water leaking out, or using a glass cup instead of a plastic water bottle. Well, when something is recycled, there is a process or a series of steps that takes place in order to turn the used material into something new. The first step is for us to put the recyclables aside and save them in a special container instead of just putting them in the trash can. Okay, you might have seen a recycling bin before. They're usually blue and they have our recycling symbol on them. Okay, you could put a plastic water bottle in there or like an aluminum can like I showed you earlier. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to read today's read aloud. You're going to learn about the different steps that take place when something is recycled. So listen carefully to the read aloud to find out more about today's topic, recycling. What do you think the artist is trying to say by placing the recycling symbol on top of the earth? I asked an artist to make a picture with these green recycling arrows on top of me. I hope this will help you remember that recycling is very healthy for good old earth. Recycling is so important that I have come back to tell you even more about it. Just to make sure that you understand how much good you're doing when you recycle something. The very first step in the recycling process is, instead of throwing recyclable material away in an ordinary trash can, you can put those things aside and save them in another container, like a recycling bin. Once you have saved a lot of things to be recycled, they need to be brought to a place called a recycling center. Sometimes people bring their own recyclables directly to a recycling center, and in this picture you can see a place with several large bins of different colors. People can bring all their recyclable materials here, but everything has to go in the right place. Glass goes in one container, cans go in another, paper in another, and so on. And you can see they have little labels, so paper, metal, glass, plastic, okay? In some places, though, people do not have to go to the recycling center themselves. Instead, they set out their recycling bins by the side of the road, just like they set out their garbage cans. And a special recycling truck comes by to empty the bins and take the recyclables to the recycling center. Now, some cities and towns even have single-stream recycling, which lets you put all your recyclables in one large container and it gets sorted at the recycling center. I don't know about you, but I think recycling is very interesting. Here's a colorful recycling picture. Can you guess what's being recycled in this picture? This is a picture of plastic bottle tops. All of these bottle tops were collected at a recycling center. Then they were taken to a plastic recycling factory where they were pressed together in a big, colorful mishmash. Later, these bottle tops will be melted down into a liquid so they can be remolded and turned into something new made of plastic. Look around whatever room you're in right now and see if you can spot anything made of plastic. I bet you can. Maybe it's even made from recycled plastic. Or maybe it's something you can recycle when you're done using it so it can be made into something else. Like this Play-Doh container. The top is made out of plastic. Pretty cool. So, what's in this picture? Here are some cans made out of metal called aluminum. Maybe you've had drinks that come in cans like these. If you throw a can away into the trash can and send it off to a landfill, it'll take at least 500 years for that aluminum can to break down and decompose. 500 years! Can you believe it? But if you put the same can in a recycling bin instead, the aluminum metal can be reused and the cans don't have to be buried in a landfill. Let's take a closer look at how cans are recycled. This diagram or drawing shows what happens when you recycle an aluminum can. Aluminum is a natural resource that is mined and dug out of the earth. From there, it goes to a factory where the raw aluminum is made into metal cans that can be filled with things, such as soda. After you buy a can of soda and drink it, you're left with an old, used can. You can throw the can in the garbage, but then it'll end up in a landfill. A better, more responsible solution is to put the empty can into a recycling bin. Pretty cool. These cans have already been sorted and cleaned at a recycling center and are now at a special recycling factory for aluminum. So plastic things go to a plastic recycling factory and aluminum cans go to an aluminum recycling factory. Workers at the recycling factory crush the cans and melt them down in a big cooker with lots of other cans. Maybe they'll make a new can and the cycle will begin all over again. The can gets filled with something to eat or drink. Someone uses the can and puts it in a recycling bin. The can is brought to a recycling center and finally a factory and so on again and again and again. So that's how it could be a cycle. What are these bottles made of? They're made of glass. If you tossed glass bottles like these into the trash, they would be hauled into a landfill. Some kinds of glass take about 3,000 years to decompose. That's a long time. Luckily, many glass items can be recycled instead. At the glass recycling factory, the glass is crushed into little pieces. Crushed glass is then put into a very hot furnace and melted into a super hot, glowing liquid. With enough heat, glass melts, just like ice melts. It's got to be super hot. Here is a little piece of glass that has been heated up so much that it's just about to melt and turn into liquid. Now imagine a big pot full of little bits of glass like this, all eventually melting together into a thick, hot, syrupy liquid. That's what you would find at a glass recycling factory. This picture shows the inside of a bottle-making factory. These are freshly made bottles. They're so hot you dare not touch them, but they'll be cool and hard again soon. Recycling really isn't hard to do, but I'll admit that it does require a little bit of extra work. Recycling, it takes extra time because you have to decide whether to throw something away in the garbage or whether to put it in the recycling bin, right? And it doesn't always make it to the top of our to-do list because we have so many other things to do. But it really is worth the time to take care of good old Earth. Be sure to ask yourself next time you use a bottle, a can, or anything else, is this recyclable? Can I conserve resources by making it into something useful again? I know that Serenity in one of our old videos said that you can turn a water bottle into a vase for flowers. There's an idea. Could be pretty cool. Well, don't forget to click on the exit ticket below. See ya later, kindergarten.